Hi friends, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my top tips for making friends when you move to Australia. If you're new around here, hi, my name is Dane and I spent over a year traveling the world. I've now visited over 40 countries. After I spent a year traveling the world, I decided, you know what, I don't want to go home back to England. So I decided to apply for a working holiday visa. That led me to moving to Sydney, Australia. Whilst this video is aimed at people moving to Australia, these tips can be applied anywhere as a solo traveler. This video is part of my Moving to Australia travel series, where I give you guys all the top tips and all the knowledge you need to know before you move here. If this is the first video you're watching, go check out these videos. You can also download a free mini guide on preparing to move to Australia. Also go and hit the subscribe button because we have more videos in this Moving to Australia series, so you're not going to want to miss that. I officially left the UK 687 days ago, which is kind of wild to me. I do feel like that gives me some kind of qualification to be able to give you guys tips on navigating, making friends whilst you're traveling, and especially when you're moving to Australia. I don't know about you, but I was a bit fearful about moving to a new country, especially Australia, because it is literally the furthest you can get away from Europe. If you're fearful about moving to the other side of the world or just traveling solo on your own, let me tell you this. If you wait for someone to go with you, you're never gonna go. There's never gonna be the right time for your friend to quit their job or your boyfriend to leave their career or stable house or whatever. So just go on your own, you'll have the best time, you'll make friends. And I always think everything works itself out. I know this from experience. I've traveled to over 40 countries. I've lived and moved to Australia on my own and things worked out. A few common fears that you'll probably have when you've applied for your visa, you booked your plane ticket, you're like, am I gonna make friends? Am I too old to be doing this? What about my friends back home? Trust me, they're all valid. And I felt exactly the same. As a 28-year-old guy from England, I thought all of these things. Hopefully my video will provide you with a bit of reassurance on the subject of making friends, because of course, we don't want to move all the way to the other side of the world and not make any friends. It may be a bit harder than back home. You may have to make friends a bit unconventionally. If you follow any of these tips that I'm about to share with you in this video, I promise you will make at least one friend. I'm sure you'll make heaps more friends, but I'm sure you'll at least make one friend. I do apologize that I'm squinting. The sun is so bright today. Another reason you have to move to Australia, because it's literally blue skies every day. So I have not had the best time making friends. I am 28. I like to do things a little differently these days. Throw me back to my 20-year-old backpacker days. I'll be staying in cheap dorm rooms, partying it up, drinking cheap booze, and just hanging out with everyone. After traveling the East Coast and living here for over a year, I would say the average backpacker in Australia or person moving to Australia is between the ages of 18 to 23, loves a bag of goon, loves to stay in a cheap dorm room, and loves to party. Me, on the other hand, I like to be in bed by 9 p.m. reading a book. Also, there's nothing wrong with that stereotype that I just described, because that was literally me a few years ago. I have struggled to make friends in Australia, but I have made friends, and I'm going to share with you how I've managed to make friends and how I advise you to make friends. I'm just going to have to put my cap like this for a second because it's really bright and I want to look in the camera. So I moved to Australia in March of 2022. It's currently May 2023. And when I moved to Australia, I spent my first 6 months living in Sydney. I made a really good group of friends and we hung out all the time. We went to dinner, we went to drinks, and then they all moved away. I find people that especially come to Sydney straight away, they stay for a few months and then leave, which puts you in the position of, okay, I need to make new friends, which is where this little travel video comes in, because I'm going to tell you guys how to make friends when I actually get to the point. This is probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm a big advocate for solo travel, because firstly, you have to make your own friends. You have to go out of your comfort zone and do things you wouldn't normally do back in your home country. You're also going to majorly improve your confidence. Being on your own all the time, sometimes you'll put in these really awkward situations where it's only you and you only to figure this shit out. I can't count the amount of times I've been in really dangerous situations and I've been like, okay, Dane, you need to get yourself out of this situation right now. And I've had to rely on myself, and that in turn has helped me build self-confidence. So now I'm more confident to, move to the other side of the world or travel to these places all on my own. Another big thing that you might not think of is when you travel solo, you are so much more approachable than when you're with a group of people. Put it like this, if you are in a restaurant or in a hostel and you're on your own, people are more likely to talk to you, whereas if you're in a group of people, you're less likely to make friends because there's other people, it could be seen as intimidating. So just go on your own. You'll make so many more friends. So now I'm actually finally going to share with you my 8 tips on how to make friends. Tip number 1 on how to make friends moving to Australia: stay in hostels. Hostels are going to be your prime opportunity to meet new people, make new friends, go on adventures. I know hostels aren't for everyone, but trust me when I say it is like going on the biggest school trip. You know, you're in a dorm room with 8 other people. You wake up in the morning like, what are you doing today? Let's go out for an adventure. Make use of the free walk-in tours. I always make friends on a free walk-in tour. Group activities that are arranged by the hostels, and you'll find that hostels sometimes have social events. They might have like, you know, cheese and wine night, or like swimming down at the local beach night. So get involved in those. Those are going to be great opportunities for you to make friends. And if you're nervous, because we've all been there, we've walked into a new hostel and we're like, okay, are we going to make friends here? What's the sitch? What's going on here? I would just say approach people casually. Just say, hello, how are you? Like, what are you doing today? You will find people that stay in hostels are like-minded people, so they're going to be more approachable and more likely to want to hang out. I know it can be intimidating, but just put yourself out there. Just put yourself out there. Sit in common areas, and I promise you, you're going to make so many friends. I actually kind of miss hostels. I'm kind of living a semi-normal life right now where I'm just living in an apartment and it's a bit more difficult to make friends. I just thought of a quick side tip as well. If you are staying in hostels and you book through hostelworld.com, you can actually message other travelers who are going to stay in that hostel at that time. So that is a really useful way of scoping out who's going to be staying in this hostel when I get there. Me? You? I don't know. Also, can we just speak about why is no one at this beach right now? Austin Mere Beach on the south coast. Why is no one here? It's such a lush day. Clearly, I'm so into making this video today that I've lost my shoes. I put them on this beach somewhere and now I can't find them. Great. Much better. Tip number 2. Okay, number 2, use social media. If you don't have social media, it's gonna be a bit more difficult for you to make friends. I have an Instagram account and I generally just message people on there. It can also be really good if you're moving to a new area and you wanna find local groups. For instance, I don't drink alcohol, I'm sober, and I actually Googled like sober Sydney, and that's how I made my friend Jess, because I just messaged her on Instagram. I was like, hey, do you wanna hang out? I know you're interested in what I'm interested in. We're interested in the same things. So I probably wouldn't do that as much back home in England, but when you travel, you just have this inner confidence to make friends in different ways. So use social media. Tip number 3, join activities and clubs that you are interested in. So for instance, if you like yoga, go join a yoga class, hang out with people after class. If you're into hiking, go and join a local hiking group, because they're probably looking for more people. There is this corny as hell saying that I like to say in life, and it goes, your vibe attracts your vibe, which basically means people that like the same things as you, you know, like-minded people, they're gonna be out doing activities and sports that you like to do. So go find those groups and hang out with those people. Tip number 4, utilize Facebook. Personally, I never used Facebook until I moved to Australia. There is so many groups on Facebook dedicated to Australian backpackers, Australia working holiday visa. And that's how I made so many friends when I first moved here, because I just put a post in one of the backpacker groups saying, yo, I've just moved to Sydney. Does anyone want to hang out? And then people comment like, yeah, I'm moving to Sydney this day. Let's meet up here. And it's a really great way to make friends. So definitely utilize Facebook. Tip number 5. This is probably where you're going to make the most friends. If you're traveling the East Coast, make sure you do a few group tours such as Fraser Island, Whit Sundays. You'll make so many friends on this tour because it's pretty much like 18 to 35, maybe a few people older than that. So when I did the East Coast a few years ago, I think I made some friends in Magnetic Island, and because everyone does the same route, you either go down the coast or up the coast, you just end up moving on with people that you've met, and it's a really great opportunity to make friends and have fun. Tip number 6, wherever you find a job, firstly put the freaking hat on, dude, it's so sunny. Tip number 6, wherever you find a job, put some effort into making friends and hanging out with the people after work. This is something that I never would do back home, but it's something that I've implemented whilst moving to Australia just to broaden my horizons and social circles. Tip number 7, have you ever been on a Bumble date? Because this is a new thing for me. So when I moved to Wollongong last year, I was like, okay, there's not really many backpackers here, there's not many travelers here. So I downloaded Bumble BFF, and I actually made a few friends through the app. If you are gay, there's also Grindr. I have made tons of friends through Grindr, not just to do anything, just to make friends. So dating apps can actually be really good when you're looking for people the same age as you. And finally, tip number 8, when you are trying to make friends, just be approachable, be friendly, and most likely people will want to hang out with you. If they don't, then hey, they're lost. Part of making this series is to empower you and give you a bit of confidence when moving to Australia, because it's a big thing, it's scary, I've been there, I've done a year now, and I feel like it was the best decision ever. So if you're worrying about maybe moving because you won't make friends, hopefully this video has reassured you that you're definitely gonna make friends. You can also download my free mini guide if you put your email address in, and of course, subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram. I post a lot more on there. I post every week here. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you know any other tips on making friends. Look, I'm sure there's loads of tips, but I was like, look, I'm just gonna provide 8 tips because that's nice and simple. One of these tips will enable you guys to make some friends. So until next time, thanks again for watching, guys. Take care and peace out.